Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into a pretty detailed 16-step plan. It's designed for significant health transformation, specifically aimed at, losing 30 pounds or more of fat.
Right. And we've got some compelling data from the source material backing this up. There's this case study, a client named Brian, used this exact plan for 12 weeks.
And the results are pretty stunning, right? Lost 33 pounds.
Yeah, 33 pounds, but also, crucially, dropped 60% of his visceral fat. That's the dangerous stuff.
And he actually gained muscle, 1.5 pounds of lean mass while losing all that fat. That's often the missing piece.
Exactly. It shows this isn't just about cutting calories. It works because it hits everything. Nutrition, training, sleep, even mindset. It's like a whole system reset.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with the nutritional side.
Yeah.
Step one seems pretty absolute.
It is. Eliminating alcohol. The sources call it a vicious cycle.
How so?
Well, think about it. You drink, your body has to process that first, so fat burning kind of pauses. Then it often leads to worse food choices, right?
Yeah, sure, late night pizza or whatever.
Exactly. And then your sleep gets messed up, you wake up tired, willpower's low.
And you make more bad food choices the next day. Rinse and repeat.
Precisely. Trying to lose significant fat while drinking. You're basically playing on hard mode. It just makes everything tougher.
Okay, so alcohol's out. Then we get into the numbers. Step two, the calorie math.
Yep, the calculation. Standard starting point is your body weight in pounds times 12 for your daily calories.
But there's a faster option.
Yeah, if you have, say, quite a bit more weight to lose, or you just want to be more aggressive, you can multiply by 11 instead.
Okay, so you have your calorie target. Then step three, which you said is like the bedrock, protein.
Absolutely fundamental. The minimum floor is 0.8 grams per pound of your body weight.
But ideally aiming higher.
Ideally, yeah, aiming for up to 1 gram per pound. There are two big reasons. First, protein helps build and, crucially, maintain muscle when you're eating fewer calories. That keeps your metabolism going.
And the second reason?
It keeps you full. Satiety. Protein is just really good at making you feel satisfied, which is, well, a huge help when managing hunger.
A gram per pound. That can feel like a lot, especially starting out. I could see someone feeling overwhelmed trying to hit that.
It's definitely a common challenge, which is why step 4 is designed to simplify things.
How does that work?
You only really need to focus on two numbers: hitting your total calorie goal and hitting that protein goal.
So don't worry so much about carbs and fat specifically.
Exactly. Let them kind of fall where they may within that calorie budget. Trying to track all 4 calories, protein, carbs, and fat, it's just too much for most people. Leads to confusion, overwhelm, and often giving up.
Keep it simple. Calories and protein. Got it.
Right. And the sources give an example of how Brian, the client, managed this high protein intake. It was very structured.
What did that look like?
He'd break his fast with a big protein shake, like 2 scoops, get about 50 grams right there, plus a teaspoon of psyllium husk.
For fiber, right. Help with fullness.
Exactly. Then lunch would be another 30 to 40 grams of protein.
And dinner.
Dinner was typically a large portion of clean protein. Think 300 grams of salmon or steak or chicken. Really front-loading protein throughout the day.
Okay, so that covers the what you eat. Now the when. So this part about using timing to train your hunger cues is really interesting. Step 5, the meal schedule.
Yeah, this is smart. It starts by working backward from bedtime.
So the last meal needs to be quite a bit before sleep.
3 to 5 hours before bed. And this isn't really about nighttime calories being bad. It's about sleep quality. Eating too close to bed can disrupt sleep.
And good sleep means more energy, better mood.
Which leads to better food choices and more willpower the next day. It sets you up for success.
Right. So you set the end time, then the start time, first meal.
First meal should be about 1 to 2 hours after you wake up.
I noticed the sources specifically called out high-stress people here, saying they shouldn't skip breakfast. Why is that?
Well, for someone already running on high cortisol, skipping breakfast can sometimes backfire. It can lead to more intense hunger and cravings later on.
Shaking it harder to stick to the plan later in the day.
Exactly. Eating that first meal helps regulate hunger, and it also signals to your body, from a circadian rhythm standpoint, that it's time to be active. Time to build an anabolic state.
And step 6 makes sure it is anabolic. That breakfast needs at least 40 grams of protein. Now, 40 grams, that's a hefty breakfast. Is that usually a shake again, or can you get that from food?
It's substantial, yeah. For many people, especially if they're busy, a shake is often the easiest way to hit that number consistently first thing.
But why so rigid on that first meal protein amount?
Because after sleeping for, say, 8 hours, Your body's been in a catabolic state breaking down tissue. Hitting it with a solid dose of protein right away basically flips the switch. It tells your body, okay, stop breaking down, start building or repairing muscle.
Yeah.
Super important for keeping your metabolism healthy.
Okay, got it. Then step 7 seems simpler. Hydration.
Yep, but with a specific system. Start today with 500 milliliters of water right when you get up.
And then...
Make it a habit. Drink water before, during, and after every meal.
So that old idea about not drinking with meals because it messes with digestion?
Total myth. The research has debunked that repeatedly. Drinking water with meals is fine, and it's just a really simple, effective way to help increase fullness and make sure you're staying hydrated.
All right, moving from fuel to movement, steps 8 and 9 are about strength training.
Right. 3 sessions a week with a rest day in between. Standard stuff.
But the key is step 9, right, progressive overload.
Absolutely critical. You have to be challenging your muscles to grow stronger while you're losing fat. That means aiming to add a little weight, maybe 5 pounds, or get more reps every single session. That's the signal for muscle growth or maintenance.
And rest times are important for that too.
Very. You need adequate recovery between sets to perform well. The protocol suggests 3 minutes rest for big compound lifts, like squats or deadlifts, and 2 minutes for smaller isolation exercises. Don't rush it.
Okay, so strength training 3 times a week. Then there's the daily movement goal, step 10, 8,000 to 10,000 steps.
Yep. This is about maximizing neat, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, all the calories you burn just moving around, not formal exercise.
And the sources had tips for this, like under-desk treadmills.
Walking meetings, even just pacing while you're on a call or watching something. The point is, you can hit your gym session, but if you sit completely still for the other 23 hours...
You're leaving a lot of calorie burn on the table.
Exactly. That daily step goal keeps the engine running all day long.
So all this activity, plus the calorie deficit, recovery becomes paramount, which brings us neatly to steps 11 and 12, all about sleep.
Recovery really is the foundation. If you don't recover, you can't train hard, your hormones get out of whack, cravings increase, it all falls apart.
And step 12 focuses on the wind-down routine. The sources even argue it's more important than a morning routine.
I'd agree with that. Your wind down tonight sets the stage for how you feel and perform tomorrow. It actually starts in the morning, though.
How so?
With about 5 minutes of direct sunlight exposure soon after waking. That helps anchor your circadian rhythm.
Okay, sets the clock, then at night.
Consistency is key. Same sleep and wake times as much as possible. Then actively cool your body down. A hot bath or shower actually helps this, counterintuitively, because your body temperature drops afterwards.
And then there are the behavioral things, avoiding screens.
Yeah, for at least an hour before bed. Blue light messes with melatonin. If you absolutely must use screens, use blue light blocking glasses.
Dimming lights in the house, maybe using red bulbs.
Right, creating a darker, calmer environment signals to your brain it's time to wind down. And maybe the most important part, avoid stressful conversations or activities right before bed.
You need to shift your nervous system into rest and digest mode.
Exactly. Turn off the anxiety. Which leads into step 11, the physical sleep environment, the sleep sanctuary.
This list was super specific. Cool room, blackout curtains.
Separate covers if you sleep with a partner, sleeping naked to help stay cool.
A weighted blanket even, around 10% of body weight.
Yeah, that can help some people feel calmer, though they do caution it can increase anxiety if it feels too heavy. And a good sleep mask, the goal is total darkness.
The source mentioned a specific brand, Alaska Bear, but is it the brand or just the effect?
It's the effect that matters. Any mask that blocks out all light works. You want it pitch black. That maximizes melatonin. Oh, and mouth tape, if you're a mouth breather, helps improve breathing quality.
Okay, fuel, movement, recovery, optimized. Now the final optimization steps, supplements. Step 13 is creatine, 5 grams a day.
Right. And it's important to understand why it's in a fat loss plan. Creatine doesn't directly burn fat.
So what's its role?
It's primarily about preserving muscle mass while you're in that calorie deficit. It helps keep muscle cells hydrated and full. Losing muscle slows your metabolism, which is the last thing you want. Think of creatine as like metabolic insurance.
Gotcha. And step 14, vitamin D and K2. Vitamin D was called the most anabolic fat-burning supplement. That sounds intense.
It's a big claim, but vitamin D acts like a hormone in the body. Research suggests it can potentially help reduce the creation of new fat cells, and it plays a role in regulating hormones like serotonin and testosterone.
Which impacts mood, energy, muscle repair.
All relevant to sticking with the plan. But the crucial part is the K2. If you supplement D3, which helps calcium absorption, you need K2.
Why is that?
K2's job is basically to tell that absorbed calcium where to go into your bones, not into your arteries or soft tissues. So D3 plus K2 supports both bone health and cardiovascular health.
Okay, we've covered the physical body, the environment. The last two steps are more about the mental game. Step 15, tracking, getting serious about it.
Yes. Tracking isn't about obsession. It's about honesty and feedback. You need to know if what you're doing is actually working.
So track daily weight, but use a 7-day average.
Right. Daily weight jumps around too much due to water, salt, etc. The weekly average shows the real trend. But maybe even more motivating, track your waistline weekly.
Why waistline specifically?
Because visceral fat, that belly fat, often comes off relatively quickly when you have a lot to lose. Seeing that number go down week after week is a huge psychological win.
And track workouts, too, to make sure you're progressing.
Yep, got to enforce that progressive overload. And take photos every 4 weeks. The sources say clients who skip the before photos almost always regret it later.
And even if you're not hitting your macros perfectly, still track your food.
Absolutely. Just logging what you eat can reveal patterns you aren't aware of. Like, wow, most of my calories are coming after 8 p.m. It's powerful information. Oh, and blood work. Get it done at the start and end.
Right. Check what's happening internally. Okay, final step. Step 16. Journaling and identity shift. This feels maybe the most important.
It might just be. Journaling does a couple of things. It's therapeutic, helps process thoughts and feelings. But crucially, it's where you track the non-scale victories.
What do you mean by that?
Things like having more energy to play with your kids, feeling more confident, sleeping better, your clothes fitting differently. These things happen gradually. You might not notice them day to day unless you write them down.
And those victories are what keep you going when the scale stalls or progress feels slow.
Exactly. They cement the why. And this ties directly into self-talk and identity.
The example given was saying, I don't drink versus I can't have a drink.
Yes, one is a statement of identity of who you are now. The other frames it as deprivation, a struggle you're constantly fighting. Shifting your language helps shift your mindset, your internal reality.
You're essentially building a new mental operating system.
That's a great way to put it. And you reinforce that with mental rehearsal. Visualizing yourself, prepping healthy meals, visualizing yourself, completing those tough reps in the gym. You practice being that person mentally before the physical results fully manifest.
So when the results do come, it feels normal. Like this is just who you are now.
Precisely. It makes the habits feel ingrained, not forced. So what does this all mean? At the end of the day, this 16-step protocol works because it's comprehensive. It's not just a diet. It addresses hormones, energy levels, muscle preservation, sleep quality, your environment, and critically, your mindset and identity. You're stacking all the chips in your favor.
It's about building a sustainable system for yourself rather than just relying on willpower, which, as we know, eventually runs out for everyone.
Right. It's a fundamental shift.
And that internal shift, the language, the identity, that really has to come first, or at least alongside the physical effort. The body follows the mind in a way. The sources really emphasize that losing the weight is one challenge, but keeping it off is the real prize. So thinking about that long game, if changing your words, visualizing success helps build that new operating system, it makes you wonder just how vital that journaling step really is. Capturing those early non-scale wins, maybe that's the key piece that truly cements the new identity and stops you from ever sliding back. It could be the most powerful long-term tool in the whole protocol.